on here. It's like one of those things where you have audio coming on from somewhere and you don't know where it's coming from. Okay. Well, what is up, guys? It's your boy Flac 2.0 coming at you live here from the YouTube studio. What I'm going to be doing today is we want to go live. And I'm checking out some settings with the OBS, checking out some stuff, give you a little bit of an update, and kind of do a little bit of reflection while the fellows aren't here. So obviously gonna be checking audio. There are a couple things I wasn't happy with the last couple recordings, and I want to try to get all that stuff knocked out and working correctly before we live stream all together. So I wanted to take time to test out the live stream settings and then kind of reflect a little bit on the Dadlife podcast. And where it started and where it has become. And yeah, I figured this might be a good time to do that. So I'm just going to get started. First and foremost, the Dadlife podcast started as a one-man show. And it started in 2019. And currently, prior to the revamp, it had 36 episodes, and it was just me. It was just me talking about different dad life stuff and how I felt about certain things. Yeah, and it was just an outlet for me to try a different format to try to reach an audience. And the format or the audience that I wanted to reach were dads. For the longest time, I was a single dad before I met my wife, and it was difficult. And at the time of making the Dadlife podcast, I kind of was like looking around and kind of seeing how many support groups like women had and moms had. And I really didn't see that many Dad's Life support groups. And so I kind of saw something that was not there and figured, you know what, I'm going to be the change that I want to see in the world. You know, shout out to Gandhi for that quote there. And I started the Dadlife podcast. So starting in 2019, again, a bunch of episodes, a bunch of different topics, but again, it was a one-man show. And today I wanted to reflect back on one of the episodes that I did. Again, just testing out the equipment, testing out the settings, seeing how this is going to go live. But then I also wanted to show the growth of the show. And what I meant by that, or what I mean by that, is that there's, with, Sensei Jon and Mr. Krinlee and NjordGod and Chiron 79, it's grown. And, talking about content creation and wanting to put out a message, I can see where I've grown as a content creator, and then I've surrounded myself with some really great people. So I wanted to take the time to, number one, show them, or at least thank them here on the air, of the gratitude I have for them continuing this journey with me as far as content creating, but not only in that, but also within the dad life space. So, again, I can't thank you enough. Let's see, what am I looking at over here? Okay, I see that. So I can't thank you guys enough for helping the show grow the way it has from the 36 episodes all the way up to a total of more than 37 episodes. Now, we have 2 seasons together. We have season 4 and we have season 5. Each season was 10 episodes each, so that's 20. And then we're on season 6. And then of course with almost every one of those episodes, there's been a before the scene or before the show episode connected to it, or an after dark episode. So you could practically double those numbers. So let's see here. I'm getting used to the interface, and it's asking me to do all these things while I am streaming. So let me just make sure I'm all logged into everything. So basically, with the way it is, and excuse the keyboard types here, they've doubled up on the original episodes. There's at least last I checked, 37 episodes that are available. Now, again, the 20 that are free are on, they're streaming, their podcast. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Google, we're on Amazon, we're on iHeart. So those are all available for free. And then the other 17, the before the scene or before the show and after dark shows, are all available to our patrons. So we have a patronage as well. And also shout out to them. But going back to the content creating part of things, again, with these gentlemen, walking this journey with me, we've basically doubled up the episodes. Now, I remember when we first did this, anytime I team up or I do collaborations with any content creators, it's always going to be a commitment, a level of commitment. So normally it'll be like 2 or 3 episodes or 4 episodes or 5 episodes. And shout out to Sensei Jon. When he first came on, he was like, hey, okay, let's do 5. And after the first episode, he was hooked, and it was like, I could do 40. Let's do 40. Your max was 37 by yourself. Let's work together. Let's break that record. And so 110% appreciate Sensei Jon's like motivation and like kind of latching onto it and being part of the Dadlife podcast, coming into being a co-producer of the show. And then through that, then we got Mr. Krinlee. Mr. Krinlee had always been a supporter of the show and the idea. And so, he always press. Like, hey, I'm down. Let's do whatever. And again, that hype right there. And then, of course, Njord, rounding us off. I work with Njord under our previous gaming, Shadow Pack Gaming banner. And we worked very well together, did the best we could with what we had. And then, he jumped on board. And he was like, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So, went from a one-man show all the way up to a 4-person show, and it's going. And I'm gonna have to say, with it, for me, it has been refreshing to, in my vision of the success of the Dadlife podcast, I brought at least 5 dads together, and we're talking about the issues that we face as parents, as dads, sharing anecdotes, sharing life lessons, and just openly talking about dad life. And we're real people. We're not fake. We all work for a living. That's why some weekends we cannot hook up, because, we have life, we have wives, we have families, we have jobs we have to go to. So again, the dedication that these guys put into the show motivate me and keep me disciplined as to let's keep doing this. So I wanted to say thank you on the live stream, on the very first live stream on the YouTube. And, this is the next level. We're going to be doing a live show. And for all you guys out there that are potentially watching this as now, because it shows me I got 1 viewer. So thank you, whoever you are. And since you are viewing, I always like to go shout out the horns here. Put a comment in, and then, like I said, but we'll put the horns up there. Now that wasn't actually that loud, so you know what? Let's give you the horns again. All right. So yeah, I just want to show my gratitude to that. I mean, the show started in 2019. Here we are, 2024, 5 years later. Took some hiatus, grew, evolved, and then again for me, not being a full-time like paid content creator, like we all have jobs, I feel it is a successful project that not only is successful as in the idea, but it was successful within the theory of, or the belief that, we should have men that get together and speak truth and share from different walks of life. And so just a big shout out, gratification, to where the show has evolved to. Now, so again, thank you guys. I mean, you guys deserve it all. So I'm gonna throw a couple sound effects out there for you. If you guys know what they are, leave it in the chat. Let's see what else we got.
Finish him.
That one you gotta get. So with that said, I wanted to take just some quick time. This is not going to be a long stream. Just want to take some quick time to reflect on being a one-man show and reflecting back. And I'm specifically going to talk about, if you want to go back to the podcast, again, all the information is going to be in the description as far as all of our contact information and actual being able to subscribe to the show, either here on YouTube or on your favorite podcast streaming app. But season 3, episode 3. And this one was called Doing the Dishes. And it was my first take on men's mental health and what I do as a coping mechanism to kind of help me with stress. You could go back and listen to it. I'm just going to quickly, and I'd appreciate it if you did, but I'm just going to quickly go over like the pretense of what it was. And what it was is when I grew up, I lived in Reno, wasn't the best time in my life. But I met some really great people, met my best friend DJ there. But, I had like a routine. Like I came home, I was the babysitter. I was the babysitter. And I had to do the dishes every night. So I'd come home, do my homework until I got a job that my friends got me. I basically just stayed home and didn't do anything except babysit and help around the house and like wash the dishes. And so with that, like, I got really good at washing dishes. And it was like a Filipino family, so we hand wash dishes even though there was a dishwasher. The dishwasher was more of the drying rack. So with that, I got really good at doing the dishes. And what I found out was that the dishes were something that I could control. Like, I could be really good at doing the dishes or could be terrible at doing the dishes. But I grew, and what I found is that when I would get stressed or I would get overwhelmed with something, I read something and I would go do the dishes basically. Like I would get stressed or whatever, but you put your stressful energy into doing that something that's productive. It helps you kind of get over that anxiety and getting over that stress. So my thing was to be productive is there's dirty dishes. I'm going to do them. I could focus on knowing that the dishes are dirty. This is a goal I could stay focused on. And then I could get it done. And then once they're done, cleaned and put away, it's quantified work. It was productive. And it had me stay focused on that one thing. And then when I got done with it, I was able to turn that frustration or that anxiety into something that had an end result that was productive. Now, in the episode, I did talk about not doing something like playing video games or something like that. Like, again, being able to do something and produce, like build something, clean something, go to the gym, where you could look back and be like, hey, I turned my frustration, energy, my negative energy into something that was positive and it produced something. And that was my first take on men's mental health, was to, be able to express or be able to get through frustration through doing something that was productive. And again, that was just one of the things I had talked about when I was stressed. So anyway, so go back, check out the episodes. I want to say thank you to everybody that joined in real quick, and just want to say that we're excited about our new chapter. We're going to be going live every week, every other week, potentially. And that's just the thing about working with people in different time zones. That's why I have to show my gratification to all the gentlemen that work together on the show. I want to show you guys that I am working toward that next level of what we talked about. And that's what this particular stream is about, just to kind of see how the audio looks, how the stream output looks. And that's basically it. And also tell you guys how much I love you and tell you how much I appreciate the work you guys put in. Knowing that maybe we have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 12 people that view. And then also to say thank you to all those 12 people that watch our videos and support us. And also all of our patrons. Again, we want to kind of work together to ensure that you're getting your money's worth with the content and continually putting out things that you guys want to hear. Last but not least, before I end the stream, again, because I think this is a good length, is we're going to be on the lookout for guests. We're on the lookout for special guests that may want to come on the show. And you don't have to be a dad. You could be a mom or, whatever the case is that you may want to know our perspective on, or just kind of bring it to the audience and see how, that's going to pan out. So anyways, I just want to say thank you. I wanted to reflect back on, when the Dadlife podcast was a one-man show, and appreciate that it's still going, number one, that it's grown, number two, that it's grown with some really great people supporting us, and just still going and basically keeping the fact that being a father is relevant within the lives of our children and our family in general. So anyway, that's going to be it from your boy Sean Flac 2.0. I'm going to try to do this transition with some music as seamless as I possibly can, which I probably won't be able to because I'm still going to be working on this. Let's go ahead and switch over to our end screen. So the stream is going to be ending, as you can see here. If I'm pointing in the right direction, which I have to point that way, all of my contact information is here. I'm not going to be on Twitch anymore. Any kind of live streaming will be done here on YouTube. We'll be doing all of our Dadlife podcasts streaming here on YouTube. If I decide to get into like game streaming or whatever, again, it's going to be here on YouTube. We got the YouTube up there. We got X now. It's called Twitter. Potentially going to be pulling off of that here soon. Obviously, we got the Instagram for sure. The YouTube's going to stay strong for sure. And then any other socials, I'll make sure I get all those things updated prior to putting anything out. Again, if you guys have any questions, comments, or emotional outbursts for myself or any of the gentlemen that are on the Dadlife podcast, you can leave any comments. We respond to all of them. And again, you could click on any of the contact information that's in the description to get in contact with us that way. And with that, I just got to say that I got to
run.
It didn't do it. It did not do it. Peace out.